Now the player can feel that position.
What's going on? What's going on? Glad y'all could join us tonight for the Mr. One and only Micah Lancaster in the building tonight. We have a real good show. Hey, I'm pretty sure most of y'all know who he is. I'm glad y'all can make it. We're excited to have it. He's a good friend of mine. He'll be on here shortly. We're going to give about 2-3 minutes for everybody to get in here. We're going to have about a 30-minute show tonight. Appreciate y'all again coming in. Most of you know the young man that's coming in tonight is pretty well known. What's up, Coach? Appreciate you checking in from Kentucky there. Coach Carter, where everybody from? Let me know where you're from. We're getting started in about 2 minutes here. 2 minutes. If you don't know, this is the guy you should know if you're serious about your training. I've been knowing him a long time. Great guy. Knows his stuff. Trains some of the best of them. It's going to be a great show again. What's up, Glenn, over in USC Salkehatchie? Appreciate you checking in. Y'all got a great program, man. You turning it around quick over there. I see you. I see you, Coach. Great to do over there at USC. I love it. I love it. I will be over there soon. I talked to Latrice today as well over at Legacy. Told her I got to get to the area. So we appreciate y'all checking in. We got about 1 minute. 1 minute, we're going to bring in our guy, Micah Lancaster. It took time to be with us tonight because he has a lot of training going on. He has a lot of people that he deal with from college to the NBA, the trainer of trainers. We're excited. This is going to be a great one tonight. I appreciate him being here. All right, without further ado, I see y'all coming in. We appreciate y'all coming in, Mike. Maya, I appreciate you checking in here. Let's go ahead and get started. We got a quick show tonight, but we got a lot to cover here. We're going to get to know Micah Lancaster, the guy. We all know Unpossible training. We all know the training tools, but let's get to know Micah Lancaster himself. So let's get it started. Micah. Micah.
What's up, Lamont?
My guy, Micah Lancaster in the building. I am tickled to death for you to be here, man. It's just, people don't know how far back you and I actually go. You know, way back when, I was getting my nose wet and, used to do your training over at Slam, right? Over at Slam. And I met a lot of people through you. I tell people, one thing I never forgot. Now, you may not know this, but I never forgot when you and I and Mateo's dad, and we all went to Angus Barn for dinner.
I always remember Angus Barn.
Yeah, right. You know that night you gave me some great advice, right? And to this, there were several things that stayed with me. One of them, my wife always brings up about when you told me about the cell phone. When you start reaching a certain level, about how you just can't take everybody's calls. There's just going to be so many calls coming in because I was trying to catch them all, But I realized at that level when I got there, okay, now this was Micah, what he was talking about. You know what I mean? And you saw, to me, what that showed me was you saw in me where I was going before I actually saw it. You know what I mean? And for those things, man, I never forget, man. I'm indebted to you forever because where we started and where we are, it was a great journey to just watch you. I watch you from afar and I'm like, man, my guy's doing it. You're in Michigan, right? You're in Michigan?
I am. I'm in Indiana right now, but mainly in Michigan these days.
Okay.
And, you're going way back to the North Carolina days there. So
yeah, man, that was some times.
Those were good times. That was I think, early grind for both of us. So that was a good time.
People say, "Oh, you know Micah." When I said Micah was coming on, you know Micah. Me and Micah go way back, man. Mateo was a test for me. that was a test for me, you know.
Well, that was a player that the Mateo story is one that I still think is miraculous, because that was a kid who didn't play any college basketball, or I should say high school basketball,
high
really.
school basketball. Yeah.
Came in to train with us, and we had a vision to make him a Division I player in one summer, right?
Wow.
So we gave you a challenge, and the fact that we even got him on a Division I roster of a kid who never played college or never played high school basketball from Canada, no playing tapes to show anybody.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That was a good one, man. I always think about that because I always say, if I can get Mateo, I can get you, you know, because that was but he worked so hard. I love Mateo. I really do. Now, people know you as a trainer, but you were a pretty good athlete. Now, as I read up on Micah, you broke some records in NAIA, and tell them as an athlete what your background is.
Yeah, I mean, I played at the NAIA level. I was All-American at Spring Arbor University, and then went on after there to play in the International Basketball League, which was like the CBA, the G League of the time. 22-second shot clock, and then got some offers to play overseas, and that I ended up not taking because I got into training. So what made it interesting for me is because I'm such an undersized player and wasn't really supposed to be a basketball player to anyone's expectations. It really taught me how to improve and how to train. So it was able to take me to where I am now because I was so indebted as a player to how I worked. And so it taught me really about, what can work for me, and then see if that could work for other people.
Yeah, I'm sure you inspired a lot of short guys, because I think I saw you was 8th to 9th grade, like 4'11" or something, right?
9th grade, 4'11".
9th grade. See, I did my homework, and I said, wait a minute, 4'11", jeez. So that took a lot of work to get where you're at. And so at some point, you had to decide, well, I think I want to do this training full time. When mentally did you say, I'm going all in?
I think it was after I was playing. I was an all-star in 2007 in the IBL, and I wanted to play overseas. I had just got married pretty much fresh out of college. And it kind of was a situation where I chose my marriage over playing. We had just got married, and I wanted to go overseas, but no one would take her. It was a strange situation. I think a lot of it was because of my size. I got good opportunities and good offers, but it was always come over by yourself, and she can come after you prove yourself. So it was really a situation where, early marriage isn't going to survive that. And so that started getting me thinking about other parts of the game. And so I just felt like training was a realm I needed to go down. And as soon as I dove in, it was like my desire to play just died. And so it was a really easy transition. It's strange because I still don't really have much of a competitive drive to play anymore. And it kind of goes back to that time. It just kind of turned off. And my passion and my focus just flipped to development. And so my obsession that I had as a player to improve myself for games started becoming to improve myself for training, which was different.
That's interesting that you say that. But you turned it into a worldwide phenomenon takeover there. But was that always the vision, or at some point you felt like, okay, well, this might happen?
I don't think anyone can plan what's happened with even just basketball training in general. When I started, I could count on like one hand how many people were actually trainers full time. I mean, at least from what was public knowledge, right? So when I got into it, I didn't really realize what was even possible. So I just knew that I had a gift for it, and it's what I wanted to do. So then eventually, YouTube really helped a lot of things for a lot of people. Social media started happening, and it just gave us a bigger voice and a bigger way to get our methods out. And then at that point, you just got to be good enough to deliver. And so I knew around 2009 when I started that it could start becoming pretty special.
Interesting. Okay. Now you've trained a lot of heavyweights in the game. One of them we lost earlier this year in Kobe. I think if I read, y'all did was it London basketball or something like that?
Yep.
Right. Now you had an opportunity to be around him and know him differently than just a regular fan. What was Kobe like in your relationship with him?
In the little time that I got to spend with him, the thing that just made him different was just he's so laser focused all the time. That's what I always took away from it. There was never a time where he was off. He was always on, always focused, always professional. I mean, we're talking about dealing with. We ran a clinic together, right? Where I'm training 100 players out in London that are basically, we're trying to show them how to be like Kobe in front of Kobe. And so he was so tuned into it, where a lot of guys do things like that and then they just kind of show up. But you could just see that if he was going to be there and his name was going to be attached to it, he was going to be there. Jump in, help teach, be part of it. And so share stories, talk. Like he was just you could see even in that type of environment, his professionalism. So that's a lesson that I learned quite a bit. Just being around him is just, no matter what you're doing, be great at it.
Interesting. Great point. You speaking of Kobe, now your list of who's who that you've been on the court with is humongous. Even back during our early grind, you had some heavy hitters that you dealt with. Now, for those people that are saying, well, who is this Micah Lancaster guy he's talking to tonight? Just you ain't got to tell them too much, but give them an idea of some of the elite players you had an opportunity to train.
I had an opportunity back when I was in North Carolina, working with Kyrie and Nolan Smith. Those were some of the early ones that I got going with. Mario Chalmers when he was with the Heat. Victor Oladipo has been the player that we've been around the most lately, and been phenomenal being part of his process from before he became an All-Star to going through the All-Star season to now doing a recovery from a serious injury. So being part of that has been a privilege. Karl Anthony Towns, we had opportunity to work with the Pacers organization. Had an opportunity to work with the Celtics organization a little bit. But it's been great just being around and being able to see how teams work, players work, and what I love about what I do is I'm not hooked to anybody, any team. I can be free, just train who I want to train. And so the same type, like I wish there's kids like you mentioned, Mateo. There's kids that I've trained that I wish that I could say the same thing about those pros that I've worked with, because their stories are just as special a lot of times. Just no one knows about them,
Really?
And so that's what I love about what I do. You could have an amazing story for a 6th or 7th grader who had a breakthrough, and it's those breakthrough moments that make it special.
Right. Now, the status you have, do you get a lot of calls from high-profile players? It's like, hey, I want to get in the gym, or let's say you're in Miami and you say, you know what, let me hit up some Heat players.
I definitely don't. I don't pursue people. If they want to train with me, they know how to find me. It's
everybody knows how to get in touch with me.
Yeah, and so, and I really want to make it known to players that I'm not trying to chase their resume and try to attach it to mine. My resume is healthy, and so I want to make sure that there's a trust that I'm okay regardless if we train together or not. So if you want to train with me, I can help you. I'm a specialist, so you're not going to come to me to work out nonstop all the time, get all your shots up, all your roles and situations. You're going to come to me if you want to improve your raw skills and attack certain weaknesses, because I'm a skill enhancement specialist. So I just wait for them. If they want that, I'm there. Otherwise, I'm very happy training players who travel to me in Michigan.
So I heard you say specialist. So when you say a specialist, do you mean, okay, if that particular player wants to work on shooting, or this particular player wants to work on this, you're a specialist in that, or is there certain things that you're just a specialist in?
Raw skill enhancement. So whether or not we're talking about shooting or ball handling or footwork, finishing, whatever skill you want to talk about, that's where I live in, and that's my specialty. What I don't do is situations. I'm not a coach. I feel a lot of you can find that in a lot of places. You get that from your teams already. You get that from coaches, and there's a lot of trainers who do situational, help you in your role type of training. Where I come in is the in between moments, within the moments of making sure your footwork is in order, your ball handling is in order, your shot is in order, and then you figure out how to plug into roles and teams. So I stay out of the systems and the roles and that type of stuff. It has a time and a place, but it's not for me. Why you'd come to me? So I say I'm a weakness specialist. I'm going to find out what you're weak at, and I'm going to attack it. So that could be any topic, but that's where I live.
Wow, that's interesting because I've dealt with quite a few trainers, and very few have I come across. I can't even think of one that just says, "Look, I'm not dealing with the situational. I'm working with this skill." It seems like they try to do both. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, and that's where I think a lot of trainers misunderstand what I'm attempting to do. Because if you look at what I'm doing, you think I'm trying to be situational, you won't always understand it.
mm-hmm.
If you try to turn a training tool that we use into a defender, it doesn't always translate because I'm not picturing a defender. We're creating a body position or a technique or a skill. So I think a lot of times, because everyone views training the same way, they think everyone's supposed to be in the same box. They don't necessarily understand the different perspective and really what people are actually coming to me for. So, if you want to increase your ball screen reads, I'm not going to go over the read. I'm going to go over the skills and the body positions that you are missing, and then that should also help the reads. And so we're filling in the gaps that are possibly missing.
That is I think people listening, that's very valuable to know because even I didn't know that's exactly what you do. And it makes sense. You just don't hear many people say that. But now that explains a lot of what I saw. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense. I always try to get people to say, like, picture me as a strength and conditioning coach. A strength and conditioning coach isn't going to say, all right, we're going to work on plyo boxes, but we got to make it situational. We're going to have you jump on the box. But,
right.
So it's the same thing with me. I'm going to increase the raw abilities you have in the skill department, and that will translate on its own. And so it's just a completely different perspective of skill.
Man, that alone, we can end this on that because that was really very valuable information to understand, not just for the kids out there that may want to train with you, but also for the trainers that want to train with you. I know I remember you using a lot of the cones before they blew up. I mean, you had you had like the original stuff over at Slam. You had the cones, the weighted ball, the weighted tennis ball. Now you got all these products. How do you feel they enhance people's game?
By doing exactly what I just described. I call it forced accountability. So a lot of players try to do a technique. So what's the biggest buzzword that coaches say all the time is get low. They're always screaming at players, get low, get low. And then the player saying, I feel like I am getting low. So if the player feels like they're getting low and the coach is yelling at him to get low, the yelling's not working. The problem is a lot of times players can't feel their own bodies. They can't tell. So if I grab a cone, even if it was for a split second, and get someone's shoulder down, now the player can feel that position, and that's the purpose of the cone. So the cone helps not by simulating defender. The cone's not a defender. It simulates the body positions required. And so all of our training tools were designed for the purpose of helping teach a body position or a trait or a skill. From the rip cones to tennis balls or medicine balls, they're for certain methods that we use to train. And a lot of times people only look at it and say, oh, you just must be working on hand-eye coordination. And you got to be way, way deeper than that to truly understand. Big one that we have now that I'm obsessed with is our Footwork Mats. I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah, I saw that. How does that work?
It works by giving visual aids and immediate feedback to players' footwork, where once again, if a player does something and they think they did it really well, it's hard to show them where they're missing. But if I have a visual, so if I record you, for instance, and you're doing footwork on a mat, I can show you exactly where your feet placed, and you have a frame of reference now to know if you performed it properly because you have the visual. And players really respond to visual aids. I don't care what your learning style is, visual aids help. And so I work with kids to NBA All-Stars with the mats, and it helps trigger to them, okay, I see what you mean now. My foot hit this spot instead of that spot. So it's foot placement, it's ball placement, but it always comes back to accountability.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, you're known as the trainer of trainers. I've seen several guys on the chat already here tonight that, asking about information. So if you're an aspiring trainer, right, how do they become, what do you require, and how do they become a part of the Unpossible training group?
Yeah, so Unpossible is our trainer division. It's all it is. It's trainers. And so if you go to possibletraining.com, it has the information on how to get certified. But I always say this, it's not a one-time thing. So it's not a come in, get certified, and always be certified deal. We would have no quality control that way. It's a continuous education experience. So there's a course that they take first where we give you the foundations, the principles, the methods, make sure you understand our perspective of basketball because you're being certified in the specialty that we bring. So if you're going to be a coach, you're not going to get anything. I'm not going to go through the X's and O's. So we're going through the skill specialties that we bring. And then once they're certified, they choose educational portals to stay involved in. And so all of our trainers have to remain educated in order to stay part of the network because the game is changing so fast. We're always adapting, and so we need to make sure everyone stays up to speed. So it's definitely an ongoing part of our family.
Great info. Good. Now, we're dealing with this pandemic. Everybody's, we bring on a lot of guests, and one question we consistently get is, what can they be doing now while they're waiting for things to start? What kind of advice do you give the youngsters listening now?
For players, obviously, this has been a ridiculous situation for people all over the world and very sad situation. For basketball players, when they look back at it, it will also be a blessing for their skills as long as they have done something about it. I mean, now they have a bunch of time on their hands. Now don't just focus just on basketball and removing the basket at times. If they just work on their ball handling and their feet without even shooting for a while, footwork will go to a different level. Ball handling will go to a different level. I call it that this is the year of training. It's always what we've been talking about. Kids are playing too many games. So games are important, but they've dominated. So now we get to pull back. Now we get to say, hey, let's focus on your training aspect and find a balance. And I think we're going to see this huge boom in separation of players who proved that they're putting in the work. I posted a video on my Instagram a week ago or so I'm dubbing this the summer of training because the games are canceled as far as I've heard. So it should be nothing but training now, and if people take advantage of it, it's going to be amazing where kids will separate themselves in the game.
And you've also, I want people to understand, because I went looking myself last night, you have this volume of videos that they can use. Tell them how they can get those videos and what they can expect to get from it.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of different things. My whole thing is I want to always have something for somebody. So from whether or not, if you don't have any money at all, we have Instagram. I'm giving something away every day. For workouts that you can follow through, it's $9.99 a month, and you can have a new workout every single month, where it's a 45-minute live stream workout. You have access to the library that continues to grow. A lot of players. We have 40 different countries who are on it right now. It's been amazing to be part of that. And so that's been really special. And then we also have apps. And so did I lose you? You there?
No, you good. You good.
The apps are the next level of train by assignment. So I like workouts, but workouts can be a little limited at times because everybody's different. So what we do with our apps is we do assignments based on skill, just what I call our checklist training system. And so it gives them the freedom to go through the list of things that they could possibly do and kind of play around with who they are and what they should do next. And so it puts a lot of freedom in their hands and just make sure that over time they get through the checklist. And so that's the most powerful thing that we offer. Everything's on MicahLancaster.com. But we have a lot of different offerings from free to, $100 a month, depending on how deep you want to get into this, from mentorship and different things that we offer. So that's always my mission is I always want to have something for everybody, no matter what their situation is.
So there's really no excuse for y'all people watching. This guy has everything on his website from trainers to you players. You really can get something from this. What's next for the Micah Lancaster brand? Possible, Unpossible. What's next?
That's wherever God takes us, man. No, for me, like it's definitely going to be a lot more apps. I'm obsessed with training apps right now and making sure that we are creating and building more checklists that people can get into. That's where we've seen people get the most results. I used to always do online workouts, and we've had success stories, but nothing like our apps have. Just the ability for them to check things off. So I'm absolutely convinced that if you have to train online, the train by checklist is the way to go. So we're building those, really expanding a lot worldwide in different countries with our apps and different things. So my vision is to influence lives and impact the world. And so the more people that we can get in front of, so translating apps into different languages and things like that's where we're pushing to make sure that we're able to find everybody.
That's awesome, man. Just to see now you're worldwide and you're building at an early age. You're a young man building an empire that is generational wealthy. So when it's all said and done, and you're ready to hang up the shoes, what do you want the legacy of Micah Lancaster to be?
Just someone who impacted and made an influence in lives. That's what it's about for me. So impacting the culture and just making sure that we bring more positivity into this thing. So, one of the things kind of from a basketball, if I was to say just from a straight basketball perspective, I want to change the way people view improvements. I think so often in basketball, it was always if you're natural, you're going to win. If you have a gift, you're going to win. If you happen to be an exception, you're going to win. And I'd say even at the NBA level, a lot of teams, they're not developing players as much as they're trying to find players. And I think it comes to a lack of belief in what people are capable of. And so I want to prove to people that they're capable of more. I'm nothing like special. I was a 4'11" freshman in high school, 5'2" as a sophomore. I wasn't supposed to play college basketball, and I didn't play in the NBA, but that's still a level of success that people are going for that don't even try because they don't think they can. So I want to be someone who's remembered for impacting and building belief in people.
Man, that's awesome, man. I'm so proud of you, man. I really am. Again, I watch you from afar and just watch your grind, and it's been great. And I know you got some training, an NBA player that you got to train today. But before we let you go, Micah, everybody on this line knows at the end of every show, we have you go through one of our little games here tonight. We're going through who you got. Now, you being a skills trainer, right? Yep. You being a skills trainer, these who you got are strictly based on skill set. Now, They may be different positions matched up, but skill-wise, who did it better? You ready? We got
whose skills do I appreciate more?
There you go.
All
we
right.
got 10 of them. Here we go. Okay. 10 seconds. Who you got? Tim Duncan or Karl Malone?
Timmy,
easy. Big fundamental. All right. Isaiah Thomas, the original, and Chris Paul.
Isaiah, man, that was my number, and that's why I wore
it. Isaiah Thomas, all right. Jordan or Kobe?
If you got to go skill, Kobe did him because he copied him, but Jordan was a better player.
That's often, I believe that. You know what I mean? He really did. He had an opportunity to see Jordan copy it and find whatever was needed.
Jordan used the skill at a more efficient level, but Kobe created more skill. That's the easier way to say it.
Gotcha. Good job. All right, Steph, Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Okay.
Skill.
Why is that?
Skill.
What?
He has him on ball handling. He has him on footwork. Has him on the variety of finishes that he can pull off. Obviously, Steph's got him on shooting.
So real quick, when I watched Steph, and this is just me, I'm not a trainer, I don't know that world, but a lot of times he looks a little reckless with the ball, but he ends up making it work. But it looks very loose to me.
Yeah, he's got a unique handle, very skill handle, but he doesn't have as much variety as Kyrie has with it. So like Kyrie is just to me just skilled in every possible way. And so, like, it comes back to the same thing. How well he puts it together is different, but he's got all the skills. And so, yeah, he wins the skill battle.
Got you. Up next, Kevin Garnett or Kevin Love?
KG.
KG. Good job. I agree with that. Shaq or Dwight Howard?
For skill, Shaq, man. Shaq doesn't get enough credit for his skills.
Really?
He could move. He could spin. I mean, we're talking athleticism too, but he was more skilled than people know.
I believe that. All right, who we got next? We got Dwyane Wade or Reggie Miller?
For skill, I'll go with Wade.
Are you a little biased? Because that's.
I mean, I did see him in person working with him, and I haven't seen Reggie, but I'd have to study Reggie's game more. I know he could shoot it. I know he moves so well without the ball, but skills, you got so much wide range, and Wade was pretty complete.
Got you. Up next, Olajuwon or Kareem?
The dream, man.
I have to go with the dream too. I feel like Kareem had one go-to move.
Oh, the dream. I said the dream.
No, that's what I'm saying. Kareem had just really that. Although he could hit a little jumper, he mainly just the hook.
He had an unstoppable move, and he had it.
Yeah. All right. Kevin Garnett, Durant and Dirk Nowitzki.
KD's got more skill.
I'll go with that. All right. And lastly, we have.
That's hard.
Harden. Oh, really?
No one's touching Westbrook's athleticism.
Right.
That
Harden's
got
more skill.
Yeah.
My man, Micah, I appreciate your time, man. You're always welcome with us. If there's anything, just like day one, if there's anything I can do for you, whatever it is, hey, just please hit me up. You got my number. We go way back. My guy, I'm forever indebted to you, my brother.
Well, I'll tell you, man, like my steak is getting cold right now, all for you. So I took a break.
Right.
And, made sure I had time, so it's likewise.
Right. Oh, no question. If you're in town, man, and you want to get some Angus barn, just let me know. We got to hit again.
I got you. I'm in North Carolina. I'll be back.
All right, man. Y'all take care, man, and I appreciate you so much.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right. There you had it, the great Micah Lancaster, a good friend of mine. I've been knowing Micah for many years, and it was a pleasure having him on. Very bright, very knowledgeable trainer. Again, I do recommend going to micahlancaster.com. He has a lot to offer, whether you're a trainer, aspiring trainer, or a player that wants to pick up your skill level. Micah Lancaster is somebody you definitely want to research and get to know, because he has a lot to offer. Up next, we have Tuesday. So, well, actually, Monday, we have Jazz on Monday. Jazz will be doing our training right here Monday at 8 p.m. And then on Tuesday, I am excited to have my guy, Andre Gray, assistant coach at UNC Greensboro. Good friend of mine, been knowing him for years. One of the first coaches that really took me serious and listened to what I had to say. And, when I recommended a kid, he was the first one to run out and check. Andre Gray, a legend here in North Carolina, assistant coach with UNC Greensboro, will be here Tuesday. And then after Andre, that's Tuesday. And then Thursday, we have Andre Gray on Tuesday, and Thursday we have Mr. Stephon McQueen, the director of team Go Hard, used to play football at UNC, one of the best RDU skills trainer in the Raleigh-Durham area, also a mentor, so much on his resume, good friend of mine. He will be here next Thursday, so we have a full plate for you Tuesday and Thursday of next week. I look forward to seeing you. And if you missed Settle the Score last night on Wednesday night, you missed a great one. That's where we talk intimately and openly about so many things, and I want to see you here next Wednesday. Again, I appreciate you being here for another episode of Courtside Conversations with our guest today. That was Micah Lancaster. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.